is Joe, your host for the Nigerian company Boss. Yesterday we were to have a very wonderful guest, one lady who inspires me greatly within the travel space. She's also one person who is an ardent business person. If you're looking for a woman who knows her onions, who has it all sorted out and all figured out, then you should look no further than Maureen or Enoma. She's one person who has inspired us, our team, the Nigerian company HR team. And very quickly, I'll be bringing her on live so that we can hear everything that we definitely need to hear. So much will be said here today. If you have your questions, you can keep them very close. I'll be inviting her shortly. Just kindly give me the next couple of seconds while I do that. Just a moment. Yep. Maureen has waved at me. Maureen, if you can hear me, I've sent you an invite. My status here is saying waiting for Maureen to join us.
Okay. I can see you now.
Oh, that's perfect. Good to see you, ma.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. In fact, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you face to face.
Yeah.
You must have been wondering, who are these people that I used to send my money to in Abuja to help me get things done?
At least I've seen your face on your Instagram page. So
Okay.
I've secretly got to see you. But I don't actually got to your contact from your Instagram page before now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice to have you. Really. So nice to have you. Before you came on live, I was trying to share with the audience that I'm sure it has taken so much for you doing business in Nigeria. Of course, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, that had the capacity to shut down a lot of travel businesses, basically, even not just Nigeria, but across the world. And to see that you are still standing, that's really interesting. And I think that's the entrepreneurial spirit about, doing business in Nigeria. So today you are our guest on the Nigerian company Boss. It's actually a platform we thought would be useful to just highlighting the stories of entrepreneurial minds across the country to see how we can create a template or a platform for people to hear something that would give them reason to keep on doing what they are doing. Yeah, I know Rome was not built in a day, and I know you've had a long business trail. So we would like to know, who is Maureen really? Who is Maureen? If you can just tell us briefly about yourself, ma.
All right. My name is Maureen Owoiluma. I'm a travel consultant. It's just I run two business at the moment simultaneously. I'm into travels and also into production. Wow. Like we said, the COVID has actually made a whole lot of us to start venturing into other aspects. Yeah. So I'm also a trainer. I'm a business consultant. I do training online and offline as well. But in everything, I'm a complete entrepreneur.
Wow.
Someone that is basically into business.
Wow. Did you start out as somebody who really wanted to do business, or did you have it in mind that, okay, I'm going to get an oil and gas job, I'm going to work for Shell, or I work for Chevron, Schlumberger? Was that the thinking, or entrepreneurship was just something that you really got passionate with along the line?
I never really looked forward to working for someone for a very long time. First of all, I read business. I read business management in school, and actually worked in a corporate environment for a period of 9 years.
Wow.
And yes, so I discovered that I needed to pull out to start my own business. I knew it wasn't going to be a kind of a roller coaster stuff. It wasn't going to be an easy journey. Yeah. But I wanted to build a platform where I could be an employer of labor, wanting to impart on other people as well. So those are just the mind I have. Even while I was working, where the company I worked with a microfinance company. for 9 years. I started with them, I ended with them, I resigned, and I decided to venture into my own business.
Have you had any regrets, leaving the microfinance industry?
No, not at all.
That
I'm
means you're
actually
having a
doing
good time.
yeah, I'm actually doing what is giving me pleasure,
Wow.
what I like to do, as in impacting people, being able to connect one or two persons for a better future is what I want to do. So this my own business has given me that platform to be able to reach out to people in my own little way, and I'm looking forward to making more effort in that aspect. So I don't have any regrets at all. Rather, I'm striving to be better in what I'm doing.
Well, that's really, for me. It's quite impressive. I had a brief sojourn in the banking sector. Let's say about 3 to 4 years thereabouts. After which, I also had a brief. I had some things to do within the public sector as well, government related stuff. Then from there, I'm doing one or two things with a bilateral organization basically, and of course working on the Nigerian company project, which is for me very interesting, and I've actually learned so much. And one of the first challenges that we had on this whole concept, this whole project called Nigerian company, had to do with building trust of individuals without them even having to see your face. So that for us, I'm not saying that we are there yet, but it has been something that has worked for us, because back in the days, people would call and they'll be like, where's your address, blah blah, where do you stay, are you sure you're not a scam, are you going to run, things like that. So for the first client that we actually had to do business with, I really don't know what he saw that he really trusted that, okay, these guys are not going to run away. Anyways, he gave us a very tough time, had to pay his money almost in 3 or 4 installments just to be giving us, the checkmating us and all that. But I just want to find out, for you, for example, how has it been having to, I'm very sure that most of the clients or some of the clients that you deal with are not individuals that may necessarily have to come into your office. How have you been able to cope with the other kind of clientele that maybe meet you on the internet, meet you online, or they come through referrals? How have you been able to build their trust or to gain their trust, basically?
Okay. I was just laughing when you were talking about, clients are patronizing you without seeing you.
Yeah.
Because that has actually been my history. That has been my story. I can confidently tell you that 90% of my clients have never walked into my office.
Wow.
Even on this present business I'm doing on the production, the people I supply my business to, 90% of them have not walked into my office. There are even some that are foreign customers: South Africa, UK, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia.
You need to show us the way.
Okay, so talking about how to build trust, it has to do with your personality. It has to do with your conversation style. It has to do with you not, first of all, too particular about money, what you're going to get. At that point, you are having a conversation. Like what I tell people, money does not come first in my business. It's the brand, the reputation that comes first in my business. So there are people that were like, okay, when do I send you the money? I'm like, I don't want your money now.
Hold the money. I don't need money.
Let me know that this thing can pull through.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but there are things I do. Like, first of all, I make my online presence, very prominent. I make it in a way that is public. Before now, it's not like I started doing that all of a sudden, or I knew about that from the beginning. I have to learn how to make your online presence public. So if you meet me through Facebook, through Instagram, through LinkedIn, whatever social media platform, I'll first of all refer you to my page. Go and check out who I am. Basically, you understand? Then I try as much as possible to do business with my business name.
Yeah.
I I removed my personal name because people are so skeptical about doing business with. Okay, you want to send me money, I send you an account number that is very Maureen Owowo. People will want to wow,
Yeah.
The first thing I did was that I have to register my business because I knew, having gone through the training of it as a business manager, I knew what I was supposed to do to be able to build some level of trust and integrity with my clients. So when it comes to payment aspect, I send my company account details. Then also, why it works better because majority of the clients I had were coming through referrals, through clients that I've worked for. So they don't even have the issue of asking where is your office because there's a track record of who this person has worked for before. And so I didn't have issues of people making payments and all that. The same thing when I ventured into the production line, the first thing I did was registering the company. And you were the one that even did that beauty and style registration. So yes, I registered the company. So even if I have to now send my account details personally, if they're having issues with making payments, they already know that this business is a legal business. And this person, she's honest and she's trustworthy. So the one that even baffles me most is the client I'm getting outside the shores of Nigeria.
Wow.
At times I wonder,
please don't wonder. Share your secret with us.
how possible it is for these people to really trust me. I have to sample. I have to take a kind of review from them. One person told me, I said, the first day I spoke with you, I from my conversation with you, I knew in my spirit that you can't be a scam.
That's a spiritual man.
I told myself, let me just give this woman a trial because from the way you are sounding, you don't sound like someone that can scam somebody. And I've gone through your Facebook, your Instagram page. I discovered that, your pages are even public. Anybody can search for your page and all that. So that has been the story.
In fact, I'm very. The part that interests me a lot is, how you're able to attract the foreign clients, because right now, I'm sorry to say, but, the Naira does not really do us a whole lot of advantage these days. Somebody has to be thinking of how can you translate or transform your business into something that can be generating, foreign exchange and all that, but I think I will leave that for an offline session. So that when I get the tips, I will come online and come and share those tips and maybe collect money from people for it. Anyways, that's just a joke by the side. I believe that to be who you are presently, doing what you are doing, you in the travel space, beyond the travel space, you are now in the production space. Can you tell us a little about the production aspects of the things that you're actually doing at the moment?
Okay, during the COVID, when the travel business, the aviation stuff was put on hold, we needed to be in business. We needed to not just close down. We have staff that depends on us. Even though we were not able to be paying the normal regular salary as it's supposed to be, but then I gave them an option. Are you guys going to stay home? And watch things when things get back, or we could just do stuff that we don't really know so much about. They asked me, what do you have in mind? I said, okay, there's this business of hair products that I'm seeing online, and I can see that it can make wave. Can we market it? And everybody, in my team said, oh man, we can. We could, kind of. Although for my first person that I contacted to supply actually cheated me, and on some things, but yes, I got cheated, and we got the first supply. It was difficult for us to make sales without supply because we almost buy at the rate at which people are retailing outside. Yes. So I have to also go further online, start searching for wholesale, you understand, suppliers from uh, outside Nigeria from Chad because product is coming from Chad. Luckily, just like I'm an online person, I work. Internet is my business. So like some people are scared of meeting people on the internet and do business with people that they meet online. I'm not that kind of person. I like to give because people patronize me using that medium. So if I want to patronize other persons, I have to give the people benefit of doubt. So I met someone online, as a supplier, and the person doesn't even really understand so much English. But fortunately, there was someone he was supplying in Lagos that he asked me to meet. I met with the lady. The lady certified the supplier, and boom, that was how.
So now you're in money. In fact, that's really amazing. To think of the fact that you would even do. Chad is not even a country that will come to mind personally. I'm not trying to look down on Chad or anything, but I'm like, when I think of Chad, I'm thinking of Niger Republic, I'm thinking of Chad, I'm thinking of Cameroon. Those are countries that Nigeria has at least political stamina much more than. And to now realize that you're actually able to deal with people from the Republic of Chad, even with the language barrier. You didn't, a lot of business people are full of excuses, basically. If they saw, in your own case now, you saw, a language barrier, somebody would have said, oh, this person does not speak English, game over, I can't do business with somebody who cannot actually communicate. But you looked beyond all of that to really say, okay, you are focusing on your goal, and that's all that really matters, that's all that's important. So taking a cue from that, I'm thinking, what is it that motivates you? Like, what is that thing that keeps you on the move, that makes you feel like you can't give up, you have to keep going? Because on the entrepreneurial journey, I think that's what it's really about. People who don't give up. You see one problem, you're like, I can't just give up now, I have to keep going. So in your case, what are those things that you fall back on? Those things that motivate you to keep giving your all?
The first thing is, I have a whole lot of persons that looked to me as even while I was working, in my formal office, outside my office, in the church, everywhere. I have people that are looking forward to, like, this lady, she's up and doing. For that reason, I have people that call me on a daily basis to ask me questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? So looking at those people is what is giving me a kind of a push for me not to give up, because I know that if I should drop in whatever I'm doing, some other person is going to drop. Looking at the fact that, if this lady could just, pull out of this, who am I? You have to be able to look at the people that are looking up to you, first of all. And the drive to reach out, the drive to make impact is what is pushing me, because I just cannot afford to make somebody else fail. Because your failure makes somebody else's failure. Your success is somebody else's motivation. Is a motivational factor for someone else. So I cannot afford to sit back and cry over what is not working. Rather, I should look for other means to make that thing work. So that is just what.
Yeah, in fact, I'm already being motivated right now. The other question is this. Sometimes we might have this Superman syndrome, like we're always going out there, crushing all the blocks, all the bricks along the way, pushing, giving our all, giving our best. Sometimes even borrowing from other people to give our best, but I know that as humans, we might have certain scenarios where we feel like giving up. Have you ever felt like, I don't think I should do business anymore, maybe I should just pack my bags and do something entirely different?
I've been frustrated, but even in that frustration, I can't work as an employee. So that's the truth.
Yeah.
So it's rather going to be, if this business is not working out, I look for another business that is viable. One thing about business is meeting needs. Like I always say, there are hundreds and millions and thousands of needs to be met. If what you are offering as at yesterday is not meeting a need, does not mean that something else is not going to meet a need. So you have to look for a need. You have to create a niche for yourself. You must look for within yourself, within your environment, what is this thing that people need that I can supply? That is what is business. Business is not just about, going to buy a product that people don't need. You will keep it at home. It's either you use it with your family members or you dash it out. It has to be a business of meeting needs. So as a business person, at every given point in time, you are looking for a need to meet. So no entrepreneur will ever resign and say, I want to go and look for a paid job. For me, it's not going to work. Rather, just like when the travel did not work for 10 months, almost 10 months, we look for a need to meet. That created another kind of business for us. If that business also is not working tomorrow, we are still going to look for another need to meet. That is what makes you an entrepreneur.
Wow. So that dogged spirit, like never say die attitude. It's really interesting because why this question is very important is because you find a lot of people, even as entrepreneurs, who are waiting on the government, and the government can only do as much as they can do. At the end of the day, the responsibility still lies on every entrepreneur out there to really put everything out there and see the best that they can actually do. I once had to talk to somebody who was she sells hair products and all that, and she was complaining that she's not making sales, things are not happening. So for me, one of the mediums that I use is through the adverts. We do a lot of ads. We run ads almost all through the year. We are running adverts and all that, and I was like, okay, have you ever run ads? She said yes. I said, okay, how much did you spend on ads? She said she spent 1,500 naira on ads. I said, that's like $3. How can you spend $3 on adverts and you're expecting that maybe you will have 1,000 clients? It doesn't actually work that way. So that's just to buttress, that dogged spirit, that doggedness that you have actually put towards business. And as a follow-up to that, like, what's your selling edge? Like, I'm sorry, this might be like trade secrets, but you may not necessarily share everything. But just tell us one way you actually do what you do that has been working so well for you, so that maybe somebody else in another industry might look at that. Beyond the social media thing, is it how you communicate? Is there a way you do your online related process? Is there a way you do your marketing that is unique? Is there something that works that you've tried over the years that has kept on working for you? You're at liberty not to share, but if you can just give us a little tip on that, it will be nice.
Okay. First of all, having a broad knowledge of what you do is the first thing. Before you can sell a product or sell a service, you must have like 101% knowledge about that thing you want to sell, because you can't market something you don't have, you are not knowledgeable about. Because people will ask you questions. Like for this product, it was kind of new. So we needed to understand the way the product works. You understand? The benefits of the product, all the benefit that comes with using the product and all of that. You needed to understand how it works before you can sell it to a customer. Yeah. So having a knowledge of what you're selling is the first key. Another key is the communication. What are your contents? What do you write out there? You understand? That is captivating. You need to be able to put something that will make somebody even the person have not tried that thing for once. The person will want to give you the try because of the contents, the information you have put up out there. The same thing with selling services like the travels. The travels, people will call you. Somebody that want to travel will call you and say, Hey, madam, I beg, I won't go UK. How it be like? It's you that want to travel to UK. You're asking me that is in Nigeria that all I need to do is to help you do your processing online, and that you're asking me how is it?
Yeah.
To you is a funny question, but to them is something that they want to know. You need to be able to tell them UK immigration service is like this. You might be in UK for so number of years. It doesn't guarantee you paper. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. If you go through the student aspect, these are the benefits. If you go through normal tourist visa, these are the challenges. This might be the way you get paper. You have to have broad knowledge of that thing. Not just say, okay, UK is good. Abroad now, abroad. No, you need to be able to tell them. I want to go to Canada. How does this? I've not been there, but then you need to learn about this thing because these are services that you are selling out. So how you tell them these are benefits if you take this immigration process. This is where it's going to lead you to, and all of that. You see, if those people have taken your advice and they succeed, you don't need to market. You don't need markets because those are going to be your marketers. Because the referrals, people you are going to be getting are going to be coming from these people you have been able to guide rightly or been able to sell the right content to right information. In selling, you must not lie. Don't sell what is not true. Yeah. Because the customer will buy from you. You can convince the customer out of lie to buy from you for the first time. But it do not make the customer to come back and buy from you for the second time.
Yeah. Wow.
So you must not tell a lie.
That's integrity, ethics. In fact, I spoke with someone yesterday. I had a meeting with someone, and there was one thing he said that really caught my attention. He said that the job that he does presently, that he's always having to fight back on ethical grounds. It's like this thing that I'm doing. His mind, he's always having that double mind, and he was like, I'm going to quit this job in he said he was going to quit in 2 to 3 months from now. And when he now told me the job, I was like, you want to quit this kind of job? This job that everybody is looking for, but you want to kill. I said yes, that ethically he doesn't find himself, playing within that space. Then back to the travel thing, right now I know that a lot of Nigerians are looking for the opportunity to leave Nigeria. Maybe not necessarily because Nigeria might not be favoring them. People just want to have another experience. I think that's the best way to put it, I did a post on my WhatsApp status for one of your competitors anyways. He asked me to post something for him, and it had to do with travel to Canada and all that. In less than 24 hours, I had at least between 5 to 7 people that were like, I'm interested. And I was like, what was this Canada really about? That everybody wants to, jet off to Canada and all of that. So I want you to pitch to the Canadian people out there. Just tell them something that would make them, people that are really thinking about going to Canada and all that. This is free advert for you. Use it the way you want to use it. Just do your thing. Tell them something about Canada in line with the services that you offer. I'm also interested to hear that part of it free of charge.
Okay. Basically, Canada is one country that have a very flexible immigration system, and especially for foreigners. It's a country where you don't need to be forced to either get acquitted in marriage, unhealthy relationship before you can get documented. Yeah. So that is why a whole lot of Africans, not just Nigeria alone, are so particular about going to Canada. It's one country that is so totally different from Europe. It's different from the normal America that we know. It's different from the Asia continent. It's a country that gives you comfort. It's like, I don't know why they do that. Every immigrant that comes into Canada can be rest assured that within 2, 3, 4 years, they can be documented. So that is why a whole lot of persons are crazy about the country.
Canada. So my guys in the studio here, I'm sure one or two of them might be thinking that after this show they might want to give you a call. Anyways, it's really interesting that the travel space. Why I'm really so particular about the travel space is like for me now. Sometimes, like I had one of my colleagues at work travel. He traveled from Abuja to Benin to Edo State. As he traveled there, I didn't tell him, but in my mind I was like, God, let this guy, let kidnappers, let them not show up on that highway. Let nothing happen because because so I'm sorry, but it could be very strenuous living within an atmosphere where you don't necessarily feel safe. I'm not saying Canada is safer than Nigeria because I know that it's just like somebody who say the United States is it's safer than Nigeria. I don't really know how that works, but I know that somehow you just have to be in an environment that is actually safe for you to say, okay, you would enjoy a whole lot of safety. If you find yourself in unsafe zones, you cannot now say that a country is totally unsafe because you are in a place that is not safe in that country. That's just semantics, anyways. But it's really amazing to see that a lot of Nigerians see the need to also improve themselves as well as improve the world, because Nigeria is now in a global village. If Canada is working for somebody, somehow it's affecting somebody back home in Nigeria, that the person's life is also getting better as a result of the Canadian person and all that. Then I know that with most of the things that you do, you are out there, you have several businesses and all of that. And I know you are married, at least I've worked for your husband before. How do a lot of women, sometimes they feel, or maybe you are a special woman, because I know of some women who marriage has taken them off course totally. People that used to have that zeal, that passion to do a lot of things, somehow they get married and all of a sudden it's like game over to them. The man is doing what he loves, but for the woman it's game over. How have you been able to ensure that it's not game over for you?
Okay, it has to do with your vision, as in what are you seeing marriage as, and what are you seeing your own what's it called? Your own objectives.
Yeah.
What do you understand? So you need to be able to marry both together alongside the marriage. You understand? And it also depends on the spouse. Who did your spouse see you as before he got married to you? If you see you as the normal homemaker, you understand? Yes, and if both of you agree that, okay, you're going to be a homemaker, raising children, cleaning the house, cooking, that is it's a profession. Yeah. And I admire women that do that, you understand, that takes homemaking as their overall profession. Women that looks for, towards their husband for every single thing. I wasn't raised like that. I started working right from when I dropped the biro for my WAEC. Wow. I'm waiting to get admission into the tertiary institution. I already started. I remember I was even beaten by my brothers for wanting to walk. Because, what are you looking for? That has been myself. I've always wanted to walk and be independent. I want to be a support system. I never wanted to be that wife that will wait for the husband for every financial stuff. Because, okay, for instance, I know of some women that their husband pay salary every month for taking care of their home. Beautiful is fine. But the irony is that what about if this job is no longer there?
Yeah, those are realities.
Yeah, if the man is retrained and or if he's doing business, the business is no longer viable. How do the home survive? Because to every woman I tell them, for the fact that your husband is saying don't work, it's to me it's not okay. Because there's nothing that is permanent, that is stagnant, that is totally stable when it comes to finance.
Yes.
So if you are at home 247, your husband takes care of every single thing, whether he's working with Chevron, he's working in Shell, he's working with whatever oil servicing company. This thing doesn't last forever. Okay, God forbid, the man eventually something happens to him, not retrained now, you understand, he lost his life, dead, disabled. Those are the considerations a lot of us do not have. That is what is propelling me to do what I'm doing. And also with my husband's support, you understand, because you have to make him understand whatever this is for the family. And also being able to balance your work and family stuff.
Yeah, that one is very key. In fact, today I had to. By the time you send me a message on WhatsApp, I was somewhere in Maitama in Abuja. I had to rush back down to Gwarimpa, pick up my kids from school, take them home, then come back to the studio and all that. So I know that my wife would have loved to do all of that, but she's also trying to get some other things done. So the ability for couples to be able to marry, especially when both couples are now business people, entrepreneurial people, that balance has to actually be there, for the family to still keep getting stronger and everything going very smoothly. We're almost coming to the end of today's session of the Nigerian Company Boss, and I would want to ask the second to the last question. This question is for that young person out there, for that school leaver out there, for that civil servant thinking of quitting their job, for that person working in a company that thinks of starting something. How do you think is the best way to start? I'm not saying there's a best way, but what would you advise somebody who is thinking of starting something out? How would you advise them to go along that path?
Okay. First of all, for the school leaver, I will advise them get an experience. Get to work for at least 1 or 2 years, 3 years. Know how the business is being run by somebody else before you can. But if peradventure they are just people that are born, they don't want to work at all. It's peradventure you don't want to work at all, you want to venture into business. Learn about the business offline, online. Don't just go into business for the sake of going into business without having a comprehensive, broad knowledge about what you want to do. Why the Igbos succeed in businesses is because of this apprenticeship that they do. Having to serve a master for 4, 5 years, 7 years. You have to learn the intakes of the business space before you can venture.
Seems we're having a brief network issue. I'm sure the internet will be restored shortly. We've been talking to Maureen and she's been sharing her experience with us. It's been a very enriching session with her today. I've actually learned a whole lot.
Okay.
Yes,
sorry.
Yeah. I guess we had some internet connection issues.
Somebody just called.
Oh, okay.
But you can still hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Rob. So, like I was saying, I said capital is not the first thing to consider when you are looking forward to starting a business. You need to know what kind of business you want to do, what is going to take you to start that business. You need to strategize on a whole lot of stuff before you start sourcing for capital, because you might have capital and you don't even know what to do with it. So capital is the last aspect of whatever business you want to do. You want to consider having the business plan, having the business idea, then strategizing on how you want to embark on that business, then sourcing for capital. That is the best way to go about.
Yeah. And the last question is, where do you see Alvin then in the next 2 to 3 years from now? What are those things that we should be expecting from you?
All right. we actually looking forward to having a larger workforce, you know. Then we're looking forward to having foreign partnership in terms of schools, in terms of vacations and tour sites. You know, we're actually working on that. We already have some level of foreign partners, but we want to expand more. Well, workspace and being out there, you know, creating awareness, people getting to know about us is what we're going to be pushing forward in the next 2-3 years.
All right, that's really awesome. Maureen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks a billion. I don't want to say a million because even a billion is not enough. But thanks a billion for making it a date today on the Nigerian Company Boss series episode 3. If I tell you I'm not excited about having had to have had the opportunity to speak with you today, I will be lying. I'm very grateful on behalf of myself and my team and the general public who will be viewing this video. I want to say a very big thank you once again for joining us. Thanks a whole lot.
Thank you very much for having me too. I'm glad that
I know
could make it.
I know that I still have some of your work that we've not completed.
We'll talk about that. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a very wonderful evening. Thank you.